Sure, you see, say, as Churchill married Tonto, after they had that their saga and all, Tonto came out and was saying a whole lot of things about him, which he didn't come online to debunk. He was quiet all along, only for Madame Rosie to find her way into the life of Churchill, and you go use herself as can't use herself great enemy to Tonto, as if Tonto was what, the bad person. So now him, she can't use inherit another person's enemy. That was why a whole lot of people turned to her to call her a backstabber, you know, all sorts of names, a home wrecker, because you knew this man was married and you didn't even want to find out the reason. So all those things that Tonto was actually saying online were true. The reason I said they were true was because he never debunked anyone. So before I go on, I really want to welcome you once again to my channel. Thank you, my returning subscribers. And then if you're here to subscribe, kindly hit the subscribe button and don't forget to turn on your notifications so you get updated when I make my post. So my people, I better come closer for this interesting gist. Churchill I'm talking about, you did not officially end your marriage with your first wife before you moved on to the second one. So I was saying Bimbo made a post. She wrote an emotional post, and it's in that message she did not sound angry, she didn't sound revengeful, she just sounded tired, exhausted, and desperate for closure, for something to just come to an end. Her words carried weight, of someone who had endured a lot in silence and was finally asking for not to revenge but for freedom. She earnestly wanted everything to just come to an end. She said, Churchill, I see you. I'm not pained at all you're right up. The truth will come out someday and people will know the real you. Please kindly sign my divorce papers and let me be free. She said at that time that a lot of people didn't know that he had not officially ended marriage with her before he moved on to marrying Tonto. She just chose to remain quiet and avoid public confrontation. You can see what we are talking about. That she said, I will tell the truth, is what many people are now holding onto as a situation surrounding Churchill's current marriage to Rosie. As it begins to raise fresh concerns online. What once looked like a closed chapter is now being reopened, with many questioning whether the signs were always there, but they ignored it. As at that time Bimbo made those statements, she stayed largely out of spotlight. You didn't see her come online to say anything. She refused to drag anybody. She refused to drag her story through social media, despite she was hinted at, at some points that her silence now feels louder than any accusation. Just the way May Edochie is handling this Lebeche's case. So it suggests a woman who may have chosen dignity over drama, even when she felt wronged. Now, as the conversation between Churchill's personal life resurfaces again, many social media people are beginning to connect the dots to that his first marriage. They are now revisiting all those old narratives, comparing it to what happened then, and asking questions about patterns, choices, and accountability. That is why accountability is better in every relationship. But the thing is, the most unexpected twists of this story is that it's not that Bimbo's issue resurfaced. It's the relationship that he quietly grew between Tonto while he had Bimbo. It was once linked by controversy and overlapping timelines. So the two women have over time moved past whatever that had happened in the past and built what appears to be a cordial and supportive connection. But it still did not end there. My people. So Bimbo now has reportedly joined in celebrating moments with Tonto's life. Has her bed a lot of us. Sometimes many never imagined that Bimbo would unite with Tonto to share some wonderful moments with her, which Rosie failed to do. That's why Olakunle made that post sometime, that if he's to choose between his children and anything, that anything was actually referring to what maybe his relationship with Rosie. He would certainly choose his children. Yeah, but Bimbo reunited with Tonto. They never reunite to fight against Churchill in all of that. So even as reactions continue to pour in, opinions remain divided. Some people believe Bimbo's old message is a proof that history is repeating itself, meaning it's like a pattern in the life of Olakunle. So while others argue that the relationship are complex and that the full truth is rare, and and it's not something that will just appear all of a sudden. So many can't ignore the emotional depth of her words. Yes, of what she actually said. She has not given us detailed reason she left that marriage. At the end of it all, that one day the truth would always prevail. But my pain is, Churchill knew he was still married to Bimbo, and he had not, well, he already knew the kind of woman he married. That was why it was easy for him to just move into another. If he had married Bimbo, Tonto Dike, as a first, and decided to move to another, you see, they had different personalities. It wasn't even easy for Tonto to button all of that up. That was why she came online to pour it out.